Hello, this is Peter Halperin. I'm bringing you Woodstove Studios Presents. Woodstove Studios is a performance and recording studio in West Tisbury on Martha's Vineyard. We record the concerts and broadcast them here on MVY Sundays at 7 p.m. And we also broadcast interviews with the artists involved on alternate weeks. Tonight I'm happy to share with you a pretty special day at Woodstove Studios. It was the 4th anniversary of Woodstove Studios. Our first show was the first Sunday in July in 2022. And here in 2026, we celebrated the event, including a party afterwards. We had 2 acts. The first was Eric Behr. I met him at a songwriting workshop conference a year ago. And he is just amazing. And an amazingly long-standing vineyarder. He started coming in 1947 when he was about 6 and kept very close connections. And his songs often reflect that. The very first song he does in his set is a beautiful song about vineyard history and nature. He had been a singer-songwriter in his youth, took a very long hiatus, and returned only a few years ago as he approached 80. Wrote more songs and really has done some magnificent work. He recorded his first full-length CD called Reflections. He won a very significant songwriting competition as well, and you'll hear that song at the end of his set. After he played, I got up and played original songs with Jim Orr on bass and harmony, and you'll also hear Jim singing one of his really great songs, Tell Her I Don't Think About Her Now. And the very last song, I was joined by Fred Mullen, the man who produced my record and a couple of new songs, and he played on one of those new songs. All in all, it was a gas. And after the concert, we all went outside to the courtyard and had a fitting birthday party with lots of music, a long jam session that went on for hours, and pretty good food. We can't bring you all that on the radio, but I hope you get to join in the vibe by listening to the music, and I thank you for doing so. Let's have a big hand to welcome an old connected vineyarder and fabulous songwriter, Eric Behr.
You're welcome, buddy. We lived on Pierce Lane, next door to Henry Huff. Some might know him. He was the editor of the Vineyard Gazette and a renowned Thoreauvian, and the creator of the Sheriff's Meadow Foundation, which I'm told now holds about 275 pieces of property and protects maybe 3,000 acres from development. So he was quite a guy. And I knew him when I was probably 6 or 7, and he kind of scared me because Henry was just very withdrawn. But wow, I'm so thankful for him for what he did. So it's called Sheriff's Meadow. Henry cut a path around the ice pond. Sometime late in 56, that's what my mother said. He'd walk it in the morning and evening, following a collie, run up far ahead. And Henry knew the names of every living thing that grew or flew or crawled along the way. Sometimes those short walks that last for hours, he'd see something new and he'd be led astray. As a kid I spent my summers on that island, in Henry's Sheriff's Meadow. It lay just below our fence, and I'd spend hours fishing in that ice pond. Honeysuckle all around that summertime incense, or running around the path after a summer storm. That muddy smell still lingers in my brain. Sunlight pouring down through the treetops, too many shades of green to ever name. And there are places in our memories we return to, like a port of refuge from a summer squall. Places where we felt the touch of magic. We're surrounded by the wonder of it all. These days I'll take that path a little slower. I'll stop beside a clearing, just be in the here and now. There's a bench where I can sit and watch the water, catch an osprey work an eel pond, see the rushes bend and bow. And if I'm lucky I might spot a great blue heron. On stilted legs she hunts among the reeds, and I'll close my eyes, surrender to the moment. For just a bit there's nothing more I need. Then the wailing church's bell will chime the hour. The spell will fall apart. I guess it's time to go. And I'll walk back, get ready for the evening. In Edgartown it's changed so much, not the place I used to know. And I'll say a silent word of thanks to Henry, who placed in trust this land that bore his name. Progress, you can march your way up Main Street. Sheriff's Meadow will always be the same. And there are places in our memories we return to, like a port of refuge from a summer squall. Places where we felt the touch of magic. We're surrounded by the wonder of it all. Places where we felt the touch of magic. We're surrounded by the wonder of it all. Thank you. In 1987, I went successfully into recovery, I'm glad to say. Spent a lot of time in a lot of rooms, and this song comes out of one of them. It's called Halloween Mask. The sun is down by 6 o'clock, stars come shining through. Harvest moon is peeking through the trees. Pumpkins in the windows and porch lights all turn on. Everywhere you hear the sound of trick or treat. It's Halloween on Maple Street, and all the kids have sugar highs. They come running with their moms and dads in tow. There's a pirate, and there's a princess, there's a goblin and a ghoul. Down the street there comes another, walking slow. She looks a little older, but it's kinda hard to tell. She got a costume at the local dollar store. A big black cape with the hood pulled up, the evil witch's face. Number 10, she rings the bell beside the door. And everybody's got a story, everybody's got a baggage train. Everybody's got some answers to questions they don't want to ask. And once a year she comes out here and stands in the doorway line, and she sees her kids from behind a Halloween mask. She used to be a junkie. She used to turn some tricks. Then the state come in and took her little ones away. Now she'd be the first to tell you they're probably better off. Doesn't make it any easier to say. She burned all of her bridges, then she finally bottomed out. She's in the program now, got a 2-year chip last week. She's working as a waitress, and when she goes to court in June, maybe they'll see a mom and not a freak. Mama used to laugh about this Wayback Machine. Take a ride with Rocky, sure would be a rush. Get a second chance at all those cards they talk about. Maybe draw straight and not a busted flush. She bends down and takes some candy from the bag her kids hold out. It takes all her strength not to pick 'em up and run. But she softly whispers thank you. Then she turns and walks away. It's by far the hardest thing she's ever done. And everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a baggage train. Everybody's got some answers to questions they don't want to ask. And once a year she comes out here and stands in the doorway. She sees her kids from behind a Halloween mask. Thank you. Quite a few years ago, I was up at Katama at one point, and I saw the birder invasion. These are huge numbers of people that come in with thousands of dollars worth of equipment. And I remembered that when I heard this story on NPR. It's called Dancing with Darwin. True story. Oh, the birders were all in a twitter. They'd come hundreds of miles just to see a red-breasted swallow had been spotted in a place where it just should not be. Their lifeless were clutched in their fingers, their cameras all set to record, as that swallow completely ignored them, and after mosquitoes it soared. Oh, they chattered like crows in a treetop as they gathered in the bright morning sun. Oh, they never come up to this part of the world, must have ridden the edge of a storm. We're all so lucky to be here. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. We're so sorry for those who have missed it. It's a loss they will always lament. Unbeknownst to those gathered below her, an intruder had joined in the dance. She was high in the sky riding thermals, looking down and awaiting her chance. Her keen eye soon spotted some movement, a small little something to munch, and she fell from the sky like an arrow, and that red-breasted swallow was lunch. Cries of outrage and horror soon followed. Where in God's name did that thing come from? And that red-tailed hawk screeched precisely as she rose and flew up toward the sun. Now the curtain is slowly descending, the finale's last notes fade away. In that grand comic opera by Darwin, another shot's in the can for the day. Memorial Day came around again. The town put its best suit on. Bunting hung from the courthouse steps, little flags on the cemetery lawn. And the fire engines gleamed in the sun. The crew had worked so hard. They had on their best uniforms. They were this year's color guard. We ended up in the town hall square where the monument stood tall. There was one for Vietnam, one name etched on that wall. And the podiums all set up, politicians milled around. Pastor said a word of prayer, everyone sat down. Then taps was played and the wreaths were laid, one for every war. Sarge laid his against that wall, stood there for a minute or more. Then he slowly reached out his hand and he gently touched that name. He saluted and he turned around, marched back the way he came. He went right past that podium, some senator held the floor. He didn't stay to hear the speeches, guess he'd heard them all before. Sometimes words don't mean a thing, what you do that tells the tale. And the Sarge said it all when he walked away, lonely man on a lonely trail. Sarge, he walked away, Sarge, he walked away. God help him find some peace out there. Sarge, he walked away. Thank you. I think this song is particularly relevant given what's going on today. It's called Dancing to the Devil's Tune. Lucifer fell from the heavens, brought down by ambition and pride. At least that's the way that I've heard it. There's always another side. He gathered his minions around him. He said, friends, we got work to do. We're gonna cover the whole world in darkness. Not a bit of God's light will get through. And they scattered like seeds in a windstorm, and the darkness began to foment. And Lucifer noticed, started to see hate and discord wherever he went. But soon he became quite impatient. Things were taking too long to transpire. So he looked round to see if something could be done, some way to add fuel to the fire. And you can kill in the name of Yahweh, you can kill in the name of Christ, you can kill in the name of Allah. Think you're going right to paradise. It doesn't matter what God you bow down to, at the end you won't be immune. If you go out and kill in the name of your God, you're dancing to the devil's tune. God has always had many faces. Each tribe has its legend and lore. And Lucifer noticed that some folks were saying, my God is better than yours. So he looked round for those hungry for power, those who'd kill all who stood in their way. And he whispered, here's how you do it. Here's what I want you to say. Tell him that you're a disciple, that the one God speaks only through you. You've been sent here to banish the heathens. It's God's holy work that you do. And then he went and he whispered the same thing in the enemy's ear. And soon they were killing each other, each for a God they hold dear. And you can kill in the name of Yahweh. You can kill in the name of Christ. You can kill in the name of Allah. Think you're going right to paradise. Doesn't matter what God you bow down to, at the end you won't be immune. If you go out and kill in the name of your God, you're dancing to the devil's tune. Now hating just seems to get easier, and loving gets harder each day. It doesn't take much to be part of a mob, it takes a lot to stand in its way. And that mob's getting louder and larger, and Lucifer's dancing with glee. This whole thing turned out so much better than he ever thought it would be. And people cry God isn't listening when the answer's right there in plain view. Go out and do unto your neighbor like you'd have them do unto you. It's in every great book ever written, might as well have been put down in sand. 'Cause we're deaf and we can't hear God screaming, but about it you not understand. And you can kill in the name of Yahweh. You can kill in the name of Christ. You can kill in the name of Allah. Think you're going right to paradise. It doesn't matter what God you bow down to, at the end you won't be immune. If you go out and kill in the name of your God, you're dancing to the devil's tune. This song is all true story that I heard on NPR. It's a pretty tragic story, but it's also a story of hope and faith, and it counters my previous song by a little bit. It's called Ahmed Al-Khatib. When I was 10, I had a cowboy hat, I had my cowboy boots, pair of pearl-handled cowboy guns I dearly loved to shoot. Ahmed was 12, lived in Janine, played the game same as me. He had this plastic Uzi, looked as real as it could be. And Ahmed was out in the street that day, the army patrol come around. Star of David flying high above the battleground. And Ahmed raised his plastic toy, there was no way to be sure. And the kid not much older than Ahmed did exactly what they trained him for. Some mothers might have gone crazy, some fathers might have picked up a gun, but the parents of Ahmed Al-Khatib did a thing that had never been done. In the midst of all of that madness, all the hate and the fear swirling around, they opened their hearts and remembered they were standing on holy ground. They took Ahmed to a hospital not far from Tel Aviv. They hooked him up to life support, but it was not to be. Ishmael and Ablah stood by their son, called the doctor to his side. They said, let him go, take what you need, keep another kid alive. Ishmael, he said, I'm just like you, we're all people of the book. And if you think we're not alike, please take a harder look. Now 3 Israeli children live and the Arab boy's gone, but his eyes still see, his lungs still breathe, Ahmed Al-Khatib lives on. Some mothers might have gone crazy, some fathers might have picked up a gun, but the parents of Ahmed Al-Khatib did a thing that had never been done. In the midst of all of that madness, all the hate and the fear swirling around, they opened their hearts and remembered they were standing on holy ground. Thank you so much. This has been really one of the nicest rooms I've ever sung in. This is just, and of course, it's on Martha's Vineyard.
You've been listening to Eric Behr perform at Woodstove Studios on Woodstove Studios Presents on MVY Radio. And when we come back to the show, you'll be listening to yours truly, Peter Halperin, joined by Jim Orr, and for the last song, Fred Mullen. Now back to the show. This one's called What About Goodbye? I never played the horses, but I did play a lot of poker.
Woke up yesterday morning, the sun was pouring down my back. I checked my pockets, I found a 20, I headed for the track. Now I'm going down to Saratoga, got to get my fun. There's a horse, I know he can't be beat, they got him 9-1. No point in question anymore. You know, I'd only lie, I'd only lie. Don't put your hold on me, don't even try. If you cannot find a word, what about goodbye? You could give me 50 reasons why I should come home. One's about our children, you're a lawyer and our loan. But the others are with me, baby. This time I won't lose. You can bet you won't see my face until my money's used. There ain't no point in questions anymore. I only lie, I'd only lie. Don't put your hold on me, don't even try. If you can't find a word, what about goodbye? No, it's not the way you are, I miss your company. You know that you have all my love, and I know you love me. And can you listen to me just this once? My life is lived on love. There ain't nothing in this goddamn world gonna make me give it up. There ain't no point in questions anymore. put your hold on me. Please don't you try if you cannot find a word. What about goodbye? One man's healing make another man ill. One man's savior get another man killed. One man's nightmare give another a thrill. One man's poison is another man's pill. Yeah, it is. One man's poison is another man's pill. One girl's jewelry is another girl's chain. One girl's losses are another girl's gain. And one girl's voices keep another girl sane. And one girl's pleasure is another girl's pain. Yeah, it is. One girl's pleasure is another girl's pain. And there ain't no doubt about it. We think life is just a game. Well, the winner gets to sing and shout, and the rest go down in flame. One man's castle is another man's cave. One man's sentence get another man saved. And one girl's treasure make another a slave. And one girl's garden, one girl's garden is up another girl's grave. And there ain't no doubt about it. We think that life is just a game, and the winner gets to sing and shout, while the rest go down in flame, down in flame. The first verse, one man's healing makes another man ill, and one man's savior get a lot of men killed, and one man's nightmare give another a thrill. One man's poison is one man's poison. One man's poison, another man's pill. Thank you so much. I woke that night in the bed where I was dying. I saw a flash of light pierce the veil of gray. All my pain was gone, my spirit started flying. I knew I'd never see another day. My wife stood by, I heard her crying. So I tried to speak, I had so much to say. Oh, but my voice was still, there was no use in trying. I knew I'd have to find some other way. And I said, Lord, hear my prayer. Now that I know you're here, see how she cries, show her this heavenly light. I cannot leave till she believes. I looked below at the scene that was unfolding. I saw a stranger come, he covered up my face. Then everybody left to where they must be going, all except my darling. She couldn't leave that place. So I said, Lord, hear my prayer. Now that I know you're here, see how she cries. Could you show her this heavenly light? I cannot live till she believes. Then she pulled back the sheet. She said, I know you hear me now. You hear me when I say I miss you so. Oh, but now I know you're taking that last passage. So I'll kiss you one more time and let you go. She said, Lord, hear my prayer. Now that I know you're here, keep him beside you, keep him safe in this heavenly light. Tell him he can leave, tell him I believe. Oh, I could not leave, not till she believed. Lazy Joe, standing on a corner, watching all your warnings every evening, every morning. Lazy Joe, just what do you know? I said, Lazy Joe, drive you crazy, counting all your reasons for missing all your seasons. Lazy Joe, what do you know? You think you can give up, don't you give it a glance. You can get the best, give your head a rest, and start feeling life's romance. Well, anyway you look, you think you're gonna get cooked, well, don't you give it a glance. You can get the best, just give your head a rest and start feeling life's romance. I said, Lazy Joe, it'll all work out. Love comes to those who make love, that's what it's about. I said, Lazy Joe, I said, Lazy Joe, I said, Lazy Joe, it's time to put on the show. Here's a song called Don't Leave Me for Love. Dreams are like waves on the ocean. They fall, but rise up again. They go sailing across the deep water. They begin that never end. I know you've been dreaming about somewhere, somehow and someday. I know you'll believe him, and I know I must stay. You can leave me for money and the things I can't give you. You can leave for the bright lights that won't shine on my life. But darling, don't leave me for love. Darling, don't leave me for love. The day that I met you, I saw so many stars in your eyes. I promised I'd take you to 'em. You know I promised, and you know I tried. Yes, I tried to be more than I am. But a poor man is all I'm gonna be. But I'm a poor man that loves you too dearly. See you give up your dream for me. You can leave me for money and the things I can't give you. You can leave for the bright lights that won't shine on my life. But darling, don't leave me for love. No, darling, don't leave me for love. No, darling, don't leave me for love.
When she walked, did the stars come out and the birds began to sing? She's still that way on everything. Is she still looking for the perfect day as she's kicking out the door? Is there a tender space which needs to have some more? If you're having a drink together and my name comes up somehow, tell her I don't think about her now. I was walking by a club last week. What do you think I heard? It was you know who. She was slinging the blues like a wounded mockingbird. I almost ducked in to see the show, but you know how those things can be. Too little time ahead of us and too much history. If you're having a drink together and my name comes up somehow, tell her I don't think about her now. star. And I'll hear her on the radio, working on my car. I may be over the hill, but I love her still, and that's a funny place to be. That's okay, I've got time to kill with all these memories. If you're having a drink together and my name comes up somehow, tell her I don't think about her now. If you're having a drink together and my name comes up somehow, tell her I don't think about her now. Tell her I don't think about her now.
So lost, can't make my way, too scared to move, too scared to stay. Somewhere, it's a place I got to go. How I'm gonna find it, I don't know. My old plans got busted, and my signposts have been stolen. You know my thoughts, they cannot be trusted. It makes me feel all alone. Each line got moments of doubt, pain all around us, and there ain't no way out. Gotta reach up for the hands you cannot see. They're waiting there for you. They always will be. When your old plan get busted, when your signposts have been stolen, even your thoughts, they cannot be trusted, and you feel like you're all alone. You got to let your heart decide. You got to let your faith be your guide. And don't be fooled by your head or your pride. No, let your heart. You got to let your heart. Let your heart. Let your heart decide. Well, I've been wondering about the state we're in, and I've been thinking about what might have been, about the things we did or could have done, about the battles lost we could have won. I see a future that can't be denied. that no apology can justify. I see the horrors that can multiply, look like the world committing suicide. I look behind, I get no peace of mind. When I look ahead, I get filled with dread. Got to take it slow, find the flow, and be here now. Here now. Here now, while I can. Why do I think as though my fate is cast? Live in the future or live in the past? That siren calls, but I will hold the mast and live each moment like it was my last. When I look behind, I get no peace of mind. When I look ahead, I just get filled with dread. I got to take it slow, find the flow, and be here now. Here now. Here now, while I can. Well, I've been thinking about the state we're in, wondered about what might have been, about the things we did or could have done, about the battles lost we could have won. I see a future that can be denied, no apology can justify. All the horrors that can multiply, look like the world's committing suicide. I look behind, I get no peace of mind. When I look ahead, oh, I just get filled with dread. I got to take it slow, find the flow, and be Thank you very much. Thank you. When the night sweeps down like an angel, shields us from the light. When our tears rain down like cannonballs, keep us in the fight. When our greed becomes emptiness and it leads us to restraint, we'll know why every demon fears they are a sin. When our suffering creates such beauty in the masterpiece it paints. When our grief brings back lost memories, so distant and so fair. When our prisons set our spirit find freedom from constraints, we'll know why every demon fears they are a sin. Can you hear them pray? Hear their prayer. I've been listening to some music, to the chords of hope and fear, to the dissonance of evil, just before graceful love appears. And I'm trying to decipher just what it is, what it ain't, and to know what every demon fears they are a saint, why every demon knows they are a saint. Very much. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Jim. Many thanks to Eric. Thanks you all for being here. Why don't we go have a party? What do you think? Let's do it. All right.
You've been listening to a concert by Eric Behr in the first set and Peter Halperin, joined by Jim Moore and Fred Mullen in the second set on Woodstove Studios Presents, MVY Radio. You can hear it again by going to the archives at mvyradio.org. If you'd like to know more about Woodstove Studios, please go to woodstovestudios.com. If you'd ever like to join us for a concert, which I hope you do, please join our mailing list on the home page, and you'll be alerted about upcoming shows, and that is how you get tickets to attend them on that site. And I'll also have a way to link to my radio shows by clicking the tab WMVY on that site. Woodstove Studios comes to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. We either broadcast a concert like tonight or a deep dive conversation in which we listen to the music of the artists involved in these shows and discuss the creative process and the anecdotes around making these great songs. And next week, please tune in to hear such a conversation with Eric Behr. It really was quite wonderful, and you'll get even deeper into his story and his wonderful songs. This is Peter Halperin thanking you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you do every Sunday at 7 p.m., and I hope you tell your friends about it, and I hope you have a very good evening.